Good morning, students. Veena Mudaliar again, retired biology teacher from Sathi College. I am bringing to you again Miss Lakshmi Pillai Madam, teacher from HR College. She has been teaching the SP and OC for last 21 years. She has authored your books also. You know her well as it is. So let me just hand over to Lakshmi Madam. Thank you, Lakshmi.
Thank you, ma'am. Good morning, students. Before we formally start our session for the day, Divyesh, Purva, and Rajat, do you want to say something about the subject? Because I'm sure you might have started studying the subject or be in touch with the subject. So, any difficult areas you want to say something about the subject to me?
They can unmute and they can talk.
Hello, ma'am. This is Purva.
Yes, Purva dear.
Purva, can we see you? Can we see you? There are only 5 participants, so I think we should be able to see each other.
Yeah.
Can you start your camera? Video.
Yeah. Yes.
Ma'am, actually, I have some problem regarding I am not able to by heart the long answers.
Perfect. You're my child. Because for me also, I can't remember long list of things or anything. But for me, if I understand the concept, I'll help you how to do that. Again, I'll come back to the basic one example. Do you watch movies better?
Yes.
Which is the last movie you saw which you liked?
Avengers.
Avengers. And my rest of the students, please pay attention. Can you tell me one scene that you liked the most in that movie? Any scene you liked, or that is still in your mind?
It's mostly it's a sad, but when the Iron Man died, so it is most touchable scene.
How many times you saw that movie, by the way, my teacher?
4 to 5.
4 to 5 times. Okay. Any other Hindi movie that you saw once, and you know that something of that you still carry in your mind?
3 Idiots.
So how many times you saw that?
I don't know, but I have watched more times.
Achha. So I think you have a tendency to watch movies more than once, right? So tell me, why do you watch a movie for more than one time?
Because it is quite interesting, and if we talk about 3 Idiots, it's like though you have almost by heart the movie, but it's very interesting and the concepts are very nice.
Yeah.
And I like the term like all is well. Jaisa hai
yes. Right. So just to now trying to tell from what you have told me, you like a movie because it is interesting. There is something in it that is of your interest, and so you like to listen to it or see it, right? And 3 Idiots, I'm sure you must have saw a long time back, and Avengers also, I think it must have been few months back that you have seen that movie, right? But how vividly you remember those, and how you are able to recollect the most important thing that you like, or maybe that is the climax of the movie or whatever it is, isn't it? You know what? You just visualized it. You have not read it. Did you read the dialogues? Did you know that after one scene, what next scene is going to come? No. But you still are able to go back and pick up whichever you want, isn't it? Yes. Beta, when you're studying a topic, especially a theory topic, especially OC and SP, I want you to do that visualization. Don't study right in the beginning. Like that, I want to put it in my mind. I want to put it in my brain so that I will remember it that way. You're putting a pressure on yourself. First 2, 3, 4, just read. That's it. Don't try to by heart anything. And then maybe it will help you if you draw on your rough paper a concept map. Like from here, it goes here, it goes here. The linkages, the roots, the network. Right? And then you try to explain to yourself, okay, fine, for this is it. So then from here, this is what happens next, or this is what happens. That's it. That's it. Then go back and read one more time and see whether your picture or diagram that you're drawn matches. It's not necessary you have to draw a diagram. For those students who feel, I'm not good, I don't want to do all that, it's very complicated, no harm. All I expect you all to do is, when you read a subtopic 2, 3 times, maximum 3 to 4 times, that's it. Try visualizing every time you read, and then try connecting things to what you already know. This way, what will happen is you will find it easier to understand. And once you understand something, child, see, for example, Three Idiots, if you ask me, for me, it is how you face life. There will be difficulties, how you face life in a positive manner, right? That's one way of me looking at that movie. So I understood the concept. So from there, we can go ahead. So today what I'll do is probably, we will try to do something wherein I'm able to give you exactly topic-wise some help, right? So that's what we would do. Okay. In the meantime, other students are also there. Any queries from your side, children? Other students? There is now Anirudh there, and Tanvi, Rajat, Aryan. Guys, any of you want to say something?
All have joined, huh?
All are there, no?
Yes.
So then we will start. Just a minute. Warm good morning to all my students. Please remember, I'm going to probably repeat certain things because OC and SP happens to be having similar paper pattern. So the method of writing would be same. How you remember will be slightly similar, but not entirely, because SP is totally different from that. So it is a theory subject, as all of you are aware of it. It is theory, but it is very interesting theory for those who are interested in knowing something about the legal aspect or the working of a joint stock company. Now, I'm assuming all of you have taken SP in the 11th standard also. So it's a continuation from where we left. But if supposing a student has shifted from maths to SP in 12th standard, even that student can easily follow the chapters that are there in the 12th standard. So I'm going to start with my presentation. So I'm just going to start with the sharing of my screen. So just a second, hold on. So here we go. We'll talk about how to handle the subject of SP and come out as victorious as you were in OC. Because I always tell my students, SP and OC are two sides of the same coin. If you know the knack of handling the question paper and studying the topics, that's it, you will get similar marks in both the subjects. So the difference between the two subjects mark should be 1 mark or maximum 2 marks. That's that identical way of writing. So again, I would like to start with the reduced portion as of now. This is the reduced portion. So let's start with the reduced portion. Now, once again, I keep telling you all, in SP and in OC, it has been clearly said that we will not ask any questions on the topic that has been done. So what I'm trying to tell you is that you don't have to study these topics from the topics that I mentioned here. Now, 1 second, let me use my highlight. Okay, so we start with Introduction to Corporate Finance. This is the very first chapter. So you don't have a huge chapter called as a capital structure here. In fact, it is nothing but something which we are going to study later on. So it isn't a topic that we are going to miss out a lot, but it is a repetition. So that's why we felt it is safe to remove this topic. So it's a small topic, but doesn't matter much for our understanding of the concepts. Then in Sources of Corporate Finance, we have removed various things here, like determinants of retained earnings, financial institutions, and trade credit. Now, again, these are topics which we are going to touch here and there in brief. So again, this won't impact your understanding of the chapter. So coming to the third chapter, Issue of Shares, we have classification of share capital. Now, students, I'm given to understand that in accounts you have this, authorized capital split into issued and unissued, then subscribed and unsubscribed, and so on. Well, we are talking about the same thing. So the this is similar here. So no need to do that. Okay. Then moving on to the next one, calls on shares, forfeiture of shares, surrender of shares. These are next small topics which we are not going to do in detail. Then moving on to the fourth chapter, we have issue of debentures, in which we have one small topic, debenture trustees, which we are not going to cut up. Moving on to chapter 5, there are 2 procedures, and I'm sure many of you will be feeling happy with this. We are not doing any procedures in this chapter, so those 2 procedures are removed. Then coming to depository system, functioning of depository system is the topic we are not doing. Actually, it's an interesting one, but because we wanted to reduce the portion and this was a chunk part of it, so we just removed it. So it's a pictorial with diagrams. We have explained the things here, but that's okay. It's okay. You will still understand the concept. Coming to dividend and interest, a very minor topic we have removed, and by the way, we still have to teach you that indirectly, so it's okay. It doesn't matter. In financial market, we have reduced 2 concepts which are actually useful, and I'm sure you have this in economics also. So what you're going to not concentrate here, you're going to cover it up there. So any which ways, it won't make much of an impact on your knowledge part of it. And coming to the last chapter, stock exchange, again we have removed the important terms related to stock exchange. It's very interesting. So those of you who are interested in the financial world, want to know something more about the stock exchanges, at least have a reading. You'll come to know some strange words like lame duck and bull and bear and all. It's something nice. So those of you who are interested. And there's one distinction only, which again has been reduced from this chapter. So this was about the topics that you don't have to do in your for your 12th standard. Now coming to the most important aspect of your where I want to see the weightage of chapters. For each chapter, what is the weightage? So here we have sources of corporate finance. Now please try to understand. If you see, we have written here the terms unit, because in SB what we have done is the entire syllabus has been divided into 6 units. And these are divided into 12 chapters, right? In OC, what we had directly, we had chapters. So that's the only difference for you. So if you want to know chapter wise, then chapter 1 and 2 together has got 17 marks without option, or with option 25. Now, I told you these are the marks that you have to remember. Marks with option is what you have to remember to realize the importance of the chapter. So here again, what I'm trying to tell you is that we have to pay attention from the point of view of the total marks given for the subject. So we have 25 marks for this chapter, chapter 1 and 2 together. Now coming to the next chapter, for us it is capital raising as 1 unit, but here we have 3 chapters included under that: issue of shares, debentures and deposits. All 3 together, obviously 3 chapters together. You see the marks here, 35 marks is the weightage. So out of an 80 mark paper, approximately between 25 to 35 marks questions are going to be from here. Now moving on to the next topic, secretarial correspondence. In the textbook it is given as chapter 6, correspondence with members, correspondence with debenture holders and correspondence with depositors. So this chapter has got a weightage of 18 marks. Now moving on to the next chapter, 1 unit is equal to 1 chapter. In this case we have depository system, which is 1 chapter on its own, and that chapter has got 11 marks weightage. Then we move on to the next chapter, payment of dividend and interest. Again, 1 chapter is equal to 1 unit, which is having a weightage of 13 marks. Then the last one is 2 chapters, which is your last unit in the syllabus. Financial markets we call it as, but chapter wise we have 11th chapter financial market and 12th chapter stock exchange. So this comes for 14 marks, right? So if you go to see your paper, you are attempting is for 80 marks, but the questions we ask is for 116. So it means what? We have these to be considered as the most important. So just like in OC I gave you, now I'm trying to help you figure which chapters are going to be more important. So I'm going to help you in arrange these chapters in an order which will help you also when you're studying for your exam, which topics to be done first. So according to me, if I were a student, what I would do is first concentrate. So I'm going to put this as number 1, 35 as number 1. So this is my most important subject chapters. Then comes 25 marks, obviously. So the next highest is 25. So this is my second highest marks. So I'm going to give them the second importance. Third would be my chapter on correspondence, 18 marks is there. So this is what I'm going to give importance to. Then moving on, we move on to the next one, financial markets, because it has got 14 marks weightage. So that's how I'm going to put this in the next order. And then obviously second last will be my chapter on dividend. Very easy, very simple. So this is a nice chapter for 13 marks. I'm happy the marks are very heavy here in that case. And then the last chapter I would give importance would be 11 marks. Children, please note, I never said you are going to leave any chapter here. I never said that. Remember that. I'm just helping you in arranging them in the order of importance. So when you're studying, how would you go about studying it? Similarly, when you want to leave out what topic on option, so you have to realize that there are certain chapters that you cannot leave much in option. Say, for example, in chapter number 9, 10, and 11 and 12, whatever topics you're leaving in option has to be very, very less. But here are the topics where you can leave something in more in option, more than one topic, because you see there will be more than one question here. So that's how you have to look at it. Okay. So assuming you have got this part clearly, let's move on to the next one. Again, I'm talking about my application-based test. So this is going to be a 20 mark. In fact, for all your theory subjects like economics, like OC, and those students who have taken SP, you will have, even in accounts, you will have an application-based test, right? Like in maths, you have practicals. Here we have these application-based tests. Similarly, in languages, you have Viva. Instead of that, we have this 20 marks application-based test. So the format for all your application-based tests, as in it will be written on a paper that will contain your questions also. So it's like an worksheets and you have to simply write your answers in that only. So what is the same pattern is what you studied for. See, here also we have the same thing. Correct the underlined word and rewrite the following sentences for 4 marks. It can come from the entire syllabus that you are going to study. Of course, excluding the reduced portion. Okay. Then you have complete the sentences. Again, for that, it is 4 marks, right? And as I told you, find the odd one or arrange in proper order. This is for 3 marks. As I told you earlier also, either they will ask this or they will ask this. They cannot ask a combination of that because can you see the word or? So we ask this or this. That's what you have to keep in mind. And finally, coming to the case studies, they will ask you 4 case studies and you have to attempt any 3 case studies here. So that's how you're going to look at my case studies. As I told you, we'll discuss about how to answer these questions when I give you the details about the paper pattern. So let's now move on to your paper pattern, which will be the almost same but slight difference with the OC one. However, question number 1 will be the same. That is, you have to first question, objectives. You will have to look at the different objectives given in the textbook. See, in ST as compared to OC, you have large number of objectives given behind the textbook. For almost every chapter, there are more than 10 or more than definitely 10 in almost all objectives, except for find the odd one or arrange in proper order. The other objectives, you have plenty of them. My advice would be read all of them, solve everything. The answers are given behind, so you don't have to worry about. By the way, if you know the theory, your answers, you don't have to check also. You'll know the right answers also. So then, when you study the entire objectives, children, you will realize that the questions that I'm asking as correct option can come as match the pairs, or can come as select the correct option from the brackets, or the underlined correct underlined word and be asked as true or false statement. So you see, it's a repetition. So for you all, it is not going to be 10 objectives as such. Read all of them and any kind of question can be asked on them. You should be able to answer that. Each of them. So out of these 10, they will ask any 4. How many they will ask? Any 4. And that is how you have to remember that this is a scoring one, because 20 marks objectives, not 1 mark should be lost, dear students. So start setting a target like that. Any objective they ask, you have to score full marks. So moving on to the next one, the second part of your question paper, that is question number 2 onwards. So what we have to do here is that, one second, I'll just, so explain the following terms or concepts. Any 4 out of 6. So we give you 6, you have to attempt any 4. Each one is for 2 marks. So that's how you get a question. You are attempting an 8 marks question here. Now, This question is very, very easy. Explain the following terms or concepts. So just like how I explained for OC, you have to do the same thing applies here. Meaning you are going to give a brief, very brief this. We are not looking for definition here and examples here. We are looking for the concept clearance here. So that's what I'm repeatedly saying, because many of you find that this question is similar to, you think that it is similar to what is asked in economics. But just in economics, it's too vast. We don't have to write so much. Right? So moving on to the next one, study the following case or situation. This is nothing but a repetition of your ABT question. So the same question is going to be asked here. Now, again, I told you, you have to attempt any two. We give you 3, you have to attempt any 2. And one question will have 3 sub-questions. That's how that one sub-question will be for 3 marks. So you are attempting 2. So it means you will attempt for 6 marks. Very scoring children. All you have to do is understand the concepts and you will definitely get the answers for it. Okay. Now, sorry. Moving on to the next one, distinguish between. So we give you 4, you have to attempt any 3. Good one for you all, because in SP, you see, there are only limited amount of distinctions. All you have to do is learn all of them. It is going to be of multiple use to you. So I'll tell you how to use my distinctions for my answers in SP. It's of great importance. Then moving on to answer in brief, nothing but a short note. We give you 3, you have to attempt any 2. 1 is for 4 marks, so 8 marks. So this again is going to be a simple and specified question. You know, in SP, there is something advantageous for you here is that we often ask you to write, state any 4 features of, say, shares, or explain any 4 features of debentures, or explain any 4 types of debentures. So what are we doing here? We are telling you outright exactly what is the number of points you should write. So then there is no need for you to write 6 and 8 and 10 points, because we told you to write any 4. So to be on the safer side, what you could do is you may add 1 more point. But then what you have to do is, that's it. Maximum you have to do is only 4 to 5 points. So here you can save time, unlike you do it in a in OC, for example, I remember I told you all to write everywhere minimum 4, they say, write extra points. So, but here that is not necessary. Okay. Now moving on to the next question, justify the following statements. Children, again, this is give reasons. Give reasons meaning we give you 4, you have to select any 2, and the statement is a positive statement. So you have to actually look into one second. So what you have to do is only give 4 points of reason minimum, but where possible give 5. But I'm telling you, in our subject, it becomes very difficult for us to actually write 5 and 6 here. SP does not give you much scope because it's legal, right? So it's based on legal concepts. So we can't add something on our own. Whereas in OC, because it is generalized, you can view the things differently. You may have 1 or 2 more additional points coming out. But in SP, justify is going to be little difficult. So please make a note, students. I want you all to actually start either writing the answers or at least the head points or the points that you want to write for all the justify statements given at the end of the chapter. Because unlike in OC, here you can't think and write on the spot. So you need to be well prepared. So it's a different way of preparing for SP. So I would advise you all to start preparing all the justify the following statements and get an answer ready. Now there might be repetition. So then don't write the answer or don't write the points, but keep ready your pointers for each of the statements. Then moving on to question number 7. Children, this is where OC and SP is different. In OC, we had to write a short answer for 5 marks, but in SP, can you see it's letters? And letters from, you will be given 3 letters, you have to attempt any 2. Now pay attention here, students. 1 letter is for 5 marks. Of that 5 marks, 1.5 marks approximately would be for the layout. And the rest of the marks will be, that is 3.5 marks, will be for your content, body of the letter, right? Now, I told you we are going to have 3 letters. How many chapters are there in all in your textbook for letters? Right? We have only 3 chapters. So correspondence with members 1, correspondence with debenture holders 2, and third is your correspondence with depositors. So when I say you're going to ask 3 letters, please note children, there will be 1 letter coming from each chapter. Meaning, I cannot ask 2 or 3 letters from the same chapter. Please keep this in mind. Every chapter, 1 letter will come. And how many do you have to attempt? You have to attempt any 2. So, mark my words here. If I were you, I would do, I will concentrate more on any 2 chapters thoroughly. Because out of 3, I have to attempt any 2. Right? So, what I'm trying to tell, please, as I told you, you have to read between the lines and understand what I'm trying to tell you. 3 chapters of letter. Each chapter has got, like for example, members has got 4 letters. Debenture holders and depositors also has 4 letters. But if you include that in payment of interest in 2 methods, we pay one through interest warrant and one through NEFT. So if you include that way, then we have 5 letters, or it is 4 letters, right? But again, if you see it differently, the payment of interest through interest warrant or through NEFT, it is similar to my for my debentures and depositors. So it would mean, if I do that chapter, it means if I'm doing, say for example, I'm doing thoroughly debentures and depositors, I don't have to do 10 letters, right? 5 plus 5. Actually, in one chapter, I'm doing 5 letters. In the other chapter, I'll do only 3. So 5 plus 3 would be 8 letters in all. So any which ways 8 letters it comes down to. So you decide which one you find and accordingly you can select. As it's okay if you are able to concentrate properly or focus properly only on 2, it won't cause you much harm here. Okay. Moving on to my last one. Answer the following. Answer the following. You have to, we give you 2, you have to attempt any 1, and each is for 8 marks. So come again, which chapters would be of importance here? Which chapters would be of importance here? If you go to see my chapters number 3, 4 and 5, the weightage of marks was 35, isn't it? 35 marks. So obviously that happens to be my most important chapter from where I can ask a question. The second most important topic, as I told you, is your first and second chapter, 25 marks. So that is one more question that can come from there. We had to give you 2 questions, isn't it? I'm giving you 2 questions. So those 2 would be from there. Now, you would say, but ma'am, letters also has got enough weightage. So will that be from there also? But children, in letters, I can't ask you a theory question, no? And please note here, in question number 8, if you want, please mark it down. It will be a theory question. Unlike last year, till last year where we used to ask you a letter or a theory, this year it's totally theory paper, theory question. So I have to ask you a theory question here. And in third chapter, that is your letters to debenture holders, members and depositors, I can't ask you a theory question for 8 marks. There isn't a scope for that. So which are the 2 chapters that we narrowed down to? It would be chapter 3, 4 and 5, that is unit 2 or unit 1, which is chapter 1 and 2. Okay, so please pay attention to what kind of question is asked here. Accordingly, you have to prepare. Now, I'm just going to go back and tell you chapter-wise, just to give you an idea, chapter-wise, how you are going to prepare. So, when I'm studying chapters 3, 4, and 5, and chapter 1 and 2, you see, I'm going to prepare an answer for my long answer. I'm going to prepare something for my justify the following statements. I'm also going to prepare for answer in brief. And if you go to see, distinctions also happens to come from those chapters. So I will concentrate on that also. Say, for example, chapter 1 has got 1 distinction. Chapter 2 has got 2 distinctions, right? 2 or 3 distinctions, in fact. Chapter 3 has got 3 to 4 distinctions. Chapter 5, 6 has no distinctions. So chapter 1, 2, and 3, all the distinctions I'm going to do thoroughly because it's definitely going to come. I'm asking you 4 distinctions, right? And which are the chapters I have distinctions? I have distinctions in chapter 1, I have distinctions in chapter 2, I have distinctions in chapter 3. I don't have distinctions anywhere in the next few chapters. But directly I come to dividend. There is a distinction in that chapter. And then chapter 11. 12th chapter, no distinction. We had one, but that has been removed as self-study. So you see, I have only these many chapters from where distinction is going to come. So when I said chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 are important, am I not going to focus also on the distinctions in that chapters? When I'm studying that chapter thoroughly, this also gets included in that. And so students, that's what I said. If you go to see, my case studies also can come from these 5 chapters, first 5 chapters. Similarly, my concepts, definitely I have to ask at least one each from the first 5 chapters. So when I'm studying chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 thoroughly, I'm going to be prepared for all my questions, right from question 1 to question number 8. Do you all understand what I'm trying to say? So this is how you have to think about a chapter. Right? So, and supposing I am talking question wise, supposing I am talking about question wise, which chapters will come? So explain the concepts, majority will come from almost all chapters. So we have 12 chapters, remove 3 chapters of correspondence. So we have now 9 chapters. Out of 9, we are going to ask 6. So which 6 can be that? So you can easily understand that in chapter 2, whatever we are talking about, shares, debentures, we are giving an introduction, isn't it? So then I can not do chapter 4 because again that's a repetition what we have already done in 2nd chapter. So this way you will know that the important chapters all will come for your concepts. Case studies, again, anywhere it can come. So this is one place where you have to be ready with all chapters, case studies. Distinction, I just told you, chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, and your dividend chapter, chapter number 10. And chapter number 11. So you have these few chapters that you have to concentrate. Coming to answer in brief, again, here my chapters, besides my first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, even my chapters on a depository system, that is chapter 9 and 10 and 11, they also can come here. So my chapters 9, 10 and 11 can come here. That is answer in brief and justify the following statements. So when we prepare a paper, when I'm going to ask majority of the questions from chapter 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 here, I'm forced to ask questions on depository and dividend in this case and financial markets here. So you understood which chapter comes where as what question. Question number 7, I just clarified to you, and question number 8 also I told you which chapters you have to focus on. So with that, then we move on to your presentation skills. Again, as I told you, you will have some sort of similarity here, but there is going to be some sort of differences between OC and SP presentation. So objectives, as I told you earlier, for OC, I want all of you to rewrite the sentences. Children, that's how you make an impression on the minds of the examiner, the ones who are going to read your paper. Then moving on to concepts, you have to write, as I told you, the meaning and any 2 statements which will add to the meaning. That's why I said I don't want you to give an example here as well as definition. Obviously in SP we have very less definition, so that doesn't matter much. Okay. Then we move on to situations, case study or situations. So again, as I told you, answer will be in one word or phrase. Yes, no, 10% shares or interim dividend or whatever, that kind of statements only you have to write. Then we talk about distinctions. In SP students, you have distinctions. For example, in the first chapter distinction, we have only less points there. Maximum, I think, is 5 or 6 points. How many points can you write? Then obviously, we expect, supposing there are only a few points of distinction here, and we expect you to write that only. I can't ask you to write, say for example, first chapter distinction between fixed and working capital, we have 6 points. So maximum how many will you write? 6 only. But minimum how many you should be writing? 4. So where there is this scope, please write at least 6 to get full 4 marks. But supposing it's a distinction between like shares and debentures, we have approximately 8 to 10 points there. Then I expect you to write at least 6 points. If you're good enough, your speed is good, you can write all the 10. I'm not going to stop you from that. But where there minimum is 4, but where there are 10 points, 12 points, it's okay if you write even 6 points maximum. Why? Because 4 is what they asked and you have written 6. For me, you have done a good job. So that's also possible for you to stick to that. But again, I tell you, if your speed is good, if you know your content thoroughly, you want to write all the 10 points, go ahead and write. Nobody can delete or deduct your marks for writing more. Please remember that. We don't have any negative marking here. Okay. Then answer in brief, minimum 4 points. Now again, students, remember, it is in SP that we clearly ask you to write any 4. Most of the questions, I'm not saying all questions, most of the questions we ask will be explain any 4 provisions for allotment of shares or something like that. So you need to know only 4 here. But as a backup. I feel always one should have a backup plan so that something goes wrong, we have something to save us. Now, it depends upon how much of risk taker you are. If you are a very careless person, the risk for you increases. So then I would ask you to write 2 more points. So minimum 4, so I will ask you to write 6. But if you're a very thorough person, you do everything properly, very in a planned manner you study, and you know my 4 points are thoroughly written, correctly written, then only 1 point and you will be safe enough to get full marks. Okay, that's how I tell my students, be careful with your preparation. So coming to justify, one point of note to be made by you all is, here the points that you get to write as justification is very, very difficult. Meaning, I can't ask you to write 6 and 7 points here. Even in some cases, getting 6 points of justification in certain topics will be difficult. So that's why I told you all, please prepare for all the justify statements given in the exercises. It will be very easy for you all. You know what? As it is, you're attempting questions for the test series 4, you're going to write. So in 4, I'm going to give you 4 4s are 16 justifications I'm going to give you right away. Right? The explanation part of it. So that much is reduced for you. At least for the rest, you can start preparing. It's not necessary you have to do it right away. You can do it before you appear for your prelim exam. So you have enough time to prepare your statements on your own. Moving on to letter. Now pay attention, students. I'm going to help you out here. In letter, the name of the company, the address of the company can remain the same. The format, that is the layout, can remain the same. Only thing is you have to pay attention in the SIN number. I assume all of you know what's a SIN number. We always write it. So that SIN number has to be correctly written, meaning it has to be a certain digit. I assume you all know this. We have done this in 11th standard. So we just want you all to write a SIM number as per the format that is given. So it should start with an L or U, then it will have the year of registration, then the registration number, case, kind of company like PLC for a public limited company and so on, whatever is given. What I'm trying to do is tell you all is, remember one format and you can use it for correspondence with members, with debenture holders and with depositors. Same format, no harm. But what will happen is, at least this way you will not make mistakes. Every time you remember, try to remember me, ye heading, ye letterhead, company ka naam ye tha. That's where you go make mistakes. Just remember one format, prepare that, and sub jagah start using the same thing, right? So that way you will at least get 1.5 marks here. But remember, your body has to be there. Then only you will get a mark for your layout. If your body is totally wrong, layout is absolutely correct, we still give you 0 marks, right? Now, your letters are for 5 marks. Now, let's assume your layout is perfect. So 1.5 marks you're getting for that. But your body is not so perfect. Like you are not written everything as per our requirement. You are written something which we wanted. Most of the things is not what we wanted. You know what? You'll still, if you get to even get half mark in my body, children, this 1.5 is perfect. So 1.5 plus half is equal to 2. So 2 letters you're writing. So minimum marks you're getting is 4. Minimum marks you're getting is 4. But imagine if your this body is almost perfect, not the perfect one, almost perfect, and you're getting out of 3.5, 3. 3 plus 1.5. How much does it come to? 4.5. So 4.5 plus 4.5 in 2 letters comes to what? 9. Right? Out of 10, if you're getting 9, for me, you have reached the zenith, you reached the top position. Right? Or if I'm bringing it a little lower, see, I'm giving you all scenarios here, starting with the lowest, going to the highest. Supposing your body you're getting, say, 2.5 marks, and here you're getting 1.5 marks, or 1 mark here, or 2.5 marks here, whatever it is. On an average, you're getting 4 marks for letter. 4 plus 4, 8. Out of 10, if 8 you get, for me, even that's a good answer. Right? Meaning it's a good scoring. Coming to the last one, long answers, meaning and explanation. As I told you, you have to write definition if the word definition is there in the question. If the word definition is not there, they ask you what is dash, what is this, explain dash. I expect you all to write the meaning, children. After that meaning is written, then meaning, just get this in your brains. Meaning is my starting point of my answer. And then comes the explanation of whatever we are asking in the question, right? So, say for example, question is explain the features of equity shares. Directly, the question is explain the features of equity shares. So, I didn't ask you what is the meaning of equity shares. So, do you think you will start exactly writing the first feature of equity share is 1, 2, 3 and you start writing? No. What I want you to do is first write the meaning of equity shares and then come to the features. Explain one by one each of them. Is that clear? So, this is how I want you all to look at it. Now, moving on to the next one. Again, I have kept the same format that I had given for OC, because the paper pattern is same. And 20 marks, if you got to see 10 marks, I'm going to give you for a letter. I'm sure you don't need this, because if you remember your letters, you know the whole thing. The letter will be over in 5 minutes also. So I'm giving you maximum these limits here. Thing is, children, initially start attempting your paper within this time limit. This must be the extreme time that you are taking. Slowly, slowly, you will realize that you're able to write some answers much faster than the others. So save this time from one question and use it for your next question. This way, with at least 15 to 20 minutes in your pockets, you should finish your paper so that you get a chance to go through your entire paper at the end of it. Is that clear? So that's what I always tell my students, give some time for yourself. Then coming to I keep repeating these points. It doesn't matter which subject, but for me, these points are very important. Concepts are what I always focus on. You know the concept, you will understand what it means. Say, for example, I'm talking about debenture holders, and I'm trying to tell you that debenture is nothing but where the company has borrowed money from the people by issuing a document which is called as debentures. So the concept tells me that company has borrowed money from these people who have supplied money. So then who are debenture holders to the company? They are creditors or owners of the company? Answer should be that they are the creditors of the company. So when I know they are creditors of the company, what will they get as income from the company? Will it be dividend or will it be interest? So I know it should be interest. Yeah, when we take money from others, we have to pay interest. So it has to be interest. Then the next question is, will that amount of interest be fixed or will it be fluctuating? We know that it will be fluctuating when it is to be paid out of profits. But interest is not necessarily paid only out of profit. Arey Baba, you have taken a loan. You have to pay. Even if you make a loss, you have to pay interest. So interest will be a fixed rate. So if you realize, I just understood the concept of debentures, and that tells me something about dividend and interest. That tells me about something about their rights, whether they are owners or creditors. That also tells me what is their role in the organization. So you see, students, if I know the concept, so many other things becomes easy for me to write. So that's why I kept telling you all concepts are more important. Then coming to diagrams and charts, draw these when necessary and not as a compulsion. I keep telling you all this. We do not give you extra marks for these diagrams. Where you feel it is going to add to your explanation or it is going to help you in remembering points, quickly draw the chart. But if you say, for example, I'm asking you different types of preference charts. 1, 2, 3 pencil stick diagram you want to draw and tell, that's okay. Where it is not necessary, for example, features of preference shares. I don't want to sit and draw all that tree diagram and all that stuff. We don't need that. So remember that you use this as per the need and not as a compulsion. Always your points, answer should be in point form. Every topic we are given in point form. So please remember to write. Okay, for example, there are certain topics where we are given in paragraph. You can write the answers in point, right? So please keep it in mind. Point is what we are looking for. Remember again, my head points is what we are looking for, because this is how students, when you go to your higher studies in commerce, everything has to be in point form. So for you, head points becomes important. Again, I tell you, remember, it is not necessary you have to write the exact wording that is given in the textbook. Say, for example, the features of preference shares, fixed rate of dividend. Instead of that, you simply wrote dividend. And in your answer, you're writing fixed rate of dividend is given to them. We accept that. Or you write fixed rate of dividend as the head point, which is not given in the textbook. We accept that because you are telling the same thing but using different words. So head points need not be exactly the same that's given in the textbook. Then coming to the last part, explanation. Children, always remember, who wants you to give or show off your English here? Baba, we are talking about the theoretical subject here. I want the concepts to be clear here. I am not giving any importance to your grammar here, your vocabulary here. Hardly we look at those things. I know your English teachers may not like what I'm trying to tell you because they tell you always be proper in your grammar, in your vocabulary. But from me, my subject, I'm more interested in you conveying my concepts here. So explanations, keep it to the simple, use simple words. And then that students will ensure you getting good marks. In the board exam, so far out of 80 students have got 76 and 77 and 78 also in the board exams. Meaning out of 100, they have got 98 and 97. Students, it's that easy to score. Okay. So with this, then I am concluding my session. Now it's open for you students to ask me any questions that you have. So I'll stop sharing my screen for a second. Just wait. So I'm keeping it open for you all students. Okay, chapter 6, 7, 8, precautions can come in which question? Okay, good question here, Aryan. It can come as your answer in brief. Question number 5, answer in brief. Certain, or I can ask the question in justify like this. There are certain precautions to be taken by secretary while corresponding with members. So, you know, whatever precautions you studied, you will write the same thing. And if you are smart enough, if you go to see, almost the content for precautions, the topic of precautions in all the 3 chapters are similar. So what you have to do is, students, study one set, apply it everywhere, right? So that makes your this very easy to remember. Okay, who else? Any other questions? And Purva, did I answer your query that how will I remember that points? I find it very difficult. Have I helped you in understanding how to go about studying better?
Yes, ma'am.
So do you feel confident now that you will be able to do that?
Yes.
Okay, where are my other students? Rajat and who was I can't see all your names here, but yeah, tell me, other students, no issues, no questions? Tanvi has not asked me anything. Okay, you have explained everything clearly, no doubts. Thank you, Rajat. Anybody else? Any other query? Anirudh, Aryan, what else? Any queries? Please feel free to ask. We have some time here. So I'm sure your teachers will allow you all to clear your doubts. How many of you actually started studying the subject? Okay, I think
they are all clear with their this one. Thorough with whatever you have said now.
Yeah, it's like double time drilling for them. The same thing I've been putting into their brains.
Yeah. You have grilled them so well that they don't have any doubts now.
Okay.
Before we wind up, I wanted to ask some students, the students who are there, Tanvi, Divesh, Rajat, Aryan. Aryan, what is your surname? Can you please unmute yourself? Because according to our list, there are only 5 students and here I have 7.
Parekh, he says.
Parekh.
Yeah.
And Anirudh, yours? What about Anirudh? What's your surname? Has he left?
No, he was there when I was there. He was there.
He has left. Because I'll have to update my list.
He's right now not there, yeah.
Yeah, he's not there. It's okay then. So we are done with all our subject guidance lectures. Now I think next week, Veena madam, if you can arrange for your language lectures.
Yes. Otherwise, commerce is over, all?
Yeah. Commerce over, science over.
So students, let us conclude the session. I hope you are happy with the sessions. Aryan, Purva, Rajat, Divesh, all happy? Okay. Let's conclude the session now. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.